Hi Scorpio, this is going to be a tarot card reading for you, looking at what is left of May 2021 and beyond. We will start by pulling a few cards for past energies just to get a sense of what you've been dealing with. And then I will show you all of these cards laid out. We'll pull more to clarify, but for now, what has been going on with the Scorpios watching? Remember Scorpio, the timing and energy on these readings are fluid, so as soon as you see this video, just take what resonates as it does when it does and leave the rest. Starting out this reading, we've got the 10 of Wands in reverse. That's breakdown after being really taken advantage of. 7 of Pentacles, so maybe some of you are really feeling like that. And the Page of Cups. Okay, so but there has been somebody there for you to take a load off. There was somebody where you could vent to. There was somebody there that you were really able to turn to and talk to, and they were very supportive of you. Listen to you, very patient with you, Scorpio. So that's coming up in your past energies. What is coming up for May 2021 presently around Scorpio? Or if you're not watching this in May, what is Scorpio dealing with presently? Let's see then. For the month of May, we've got Queen of Swords. Are you cutting something out of your workload? Are you cutting somebody off? Cutting out some bullshit with somebody? 6 of Wands. So work seems to really be a focus for you. And I do use some astrology in these readings, Scorpio, so I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper. But we do have some indicators for career in this month with the transits astrologically. The Fool card. So yeah, some of you are really, really passionate and motivated to take a chance towards starting something new. I think some of you had a lot of success already in one field, or in some of you are ready now to open another business. Some of you are ready to do something else. Something is coming from an area that you've already had a lot of expertise, learning, knowledge in, or else just hands-on life experience and recognition. What cards are going to come up for Scorpio in themes? What kind of themes can Scorpio expect, or what's been going on coming up at the end of the month, May going into June? So we really have the kind of energy of a new beginning in the Fool card. After a cycle of yours that had been kind of troublesome has completed. 9 of Pentacles. This is a really good indication for your self-sufficiency, the 7 of Swords, but there's a tendency for you to feel like you have to do everything alone at the moment, Scorpio, kind of lone wolf, because it seems to be there's a lot of movement around you. Somebody might be coming towards you, and you're just a little bit wary of you're wary of their intentions with you. Let's take this back before going deeper and clarifying. So you may have recently been feeling very overburdened, Scorpio. This talks about when energy is really heavy on top of us, duties are piled onto us. We're probably not getting a lot of thanks for all the hard work we've been doing. We're probably not really feeling like we're seeing any results going to happen. 7 of Pentacles talks about when there is an element of frustration, you're doing all this work and you're really working so hard, but yet you just can't seem to get the results you're after. You can't get ahead, you can't get recognized, you can't get that pay rise. It's just, and you're doing all the hard work for it. So that could be how some of you feel, or have felt. I'm reading this as a past energy, maybe late April, maybe April into May. The Page of Cups talks about though somebody that was there for you to really lean into, even if you didn't have to talk about the work problems you were having, or the relationships issues you were having, or the family obligations, or whatever you've been dealing with that was piling and piling on, and you weren't seeing any kind of getting through it. There was someone there that was a real fun person to be around, and made you smile, a real sweetheart. And even if you didn't talk about this with them, you felt so good after being around them. If it wasn't another person, this is the card of hobbies and pastimes and inner child work and things that we just do for joy. And that's kind of coming up for me, Scorpio, that might have been a way to say you really needed to recently look at your balance of your work and your personal relationships. It seems like you were putting so much time into one of them, and it became then burdensome in other areas of your life. But you're now, I think you weren't seeing the results so quickly. I see now results being showing themselves in the month of May. So results are coming up and you're getting recognized in the month of May. So this is very exciting energy around you. This is you hustling towards a new beginning, and this is actually the only major arcana card that we have had out in our reading so far. We might pull some more, and I'll show you these cards so you can get a visual, but the major arcana cards represent periods in our life where our soul is ready to grow and thrive again. It's interesting that you got the first one, Scorpio, 0 in the deck, the very first card of the major arcanas. The Fool is about to begin its journey of life and evolution and kind of encountering things as it goes along. 10 of Wands talks about an ending of a cycle. Fool talks about a beginning of a new one. So something had really been burdening you, and I don't know, you had to cut somebody off, you had to cut it off, like you had to say enough is enough, place a very cold, hard boundary there and say like, I'm sorry, either you decrease my workload, or else compensate me for all this hard work I'm doing and all this effort I'm putting in and the time that I'm spending here. Or if it was something with a personal relationship, I do see kind of like a cutting off. This could be between like a sibling, older and younger sibling maybe, an older and a younger family member, even parent and child. So it could be a friend, it could be a romantic relationship, however it applies, Scorpio, but you to kind of put a boundary there for some. That won't apply for all. For some, I see this Page of Cups as being really useful insofar as a person that was there, but for some there was some sort of a you just had to put a boundary between somebody in your life. It sucked, but like you still loved them, but like unfortunately they made you feel a certain way, they made you feel triggered or whatever. 6 of Wands. Okay, so we do see an energy of like headed towards success, but some of you are really thinking about starting something new, and like starting something new in a bigger way with the Fool card, like, and it looks like you're going to be probably very well recognized in this. It looks pretty successful. We'll clear it up and see what more is coming up for that. Let's take this forward. So the final row we have here for May going into June is 9 of Pentacles with the 7 of Swords with the Knight of Swords. This kind of energy is somewhat like acting out alone and even selfishly, even sneakily, even just out of carelessness or just out of like, you know, I don't have time to think about it, so I'm just going to do it myself. So there is an energy of whatever it might bring up for you, working on your own or lone wolf tactics happening towards the end of the month. You're going to be feeling by the end of the month going to June, I see this energy coming up as you feeling a bit better in your body. Maybe you haven't been feeling so well, maybe you've been under the weather. Well, the sun is transiting through Taurus at the moment until around the 20th of May this year, 21st of May and thereabouts, and the sun is opposite you now, Taurus, and Scorpio in the sign of Taurus. So the sun represents our life force, our vitality, our desires, our like our kind of like our soul growth. Basically the sun is like our souls essentially, and it's life force and it's our sense of vitality. And when the sun is opposite you like it is in Taurus now, that actually can be very depleting, and you could probably have had a head cold at this time or not feeling very well. So this is an indicator that when the sun moves out of Taurus and moves into Gemini by the end of the month, it's going to be like hopefully you're feeling a little bit more healthy again. So because sometimes sun opposite sun transits can be a bit of a energy depleter. A 7 of Swords is like you have to make a quick decision that doesn't really require you, it doesn't give you enough time to communicate to the people that you may need to communicate something to, because you have to act pretty suddenly on it, and you kind of have to act kind of selfishly on it and just not really, we'll go into it and see why, but it might be just because there's like quite a lot of like urgency to do this, okay? Something coming up, I feel like more towards a romantic partner in this sense for some reason. Okay, so let's keep going, and why don't I show you these cards now, Scorpio, and we will look into these together, okay? All right, Scorpio, we're going to continue. Before we do, let me just talk to you quickly about some of the astrology. So I recommend watching this from your rising sign position. Scorpio rising, there is going to be a Jupiter, which is the great benefic. It brings with it abundance, gifts, generosity, expanse, opportunity. That is going to be moving into your 5th house of creative pursuits, children, dating, romance, hobbies. So you're gonna, like, if you do something creatively between May 14th and July 29th, Scorpio rising in particular, you're gonna get a really good indicator. Oh, we just had your energy at the bottom of the deck, King of Cups. Let's see if he comes back out. But you're gonna have a really nice indicator of like what you can do that you do for fun or creatively. Like, can you get a nice reward for it? Can you get some recognition for it? Can you make some money from it? And I think that's going to be something that could crop up for Scorpio risings this summer in a really positive way. Also, it's going to be for Scorpio rising a good month for taxes and doing all of that, and inheritances, shared resources for Scorpio rising. Let's look into this first row here. Clearing up the 10 of Wands in reverse, clearing up 7 of Pentacles and Page of Cups. The 8 of Wands in reverse. The 9 of Cups. This is Jupiter in Pisces, actually. So that's where that transit is happening. Jupiter moves into Pisces on May 14th. Okay, so figure out where Pisces is in your chart, Scorpio, and that's where you're going to get a glimpse into where these blessings are coming in for you this May through end of July, May 14th through end of July. So where you get a glimpse of what these Jupiter and Pisces gifts are bringing for you as an individual this summer. That's going to play out in full in 2022. So we'll have that back in all of 2022. So you'll have an indication of how that's going to play out for you, or what you may expect in terms of like nice energy coming in and like expanse. 8 of Wands. This is Jupiter and oh no, it isn't. It's Mercury and Sagittarius, but it's a travel orientated card like this 9 of Cups. Okay, so I do see travel coming up, but there does seem to be like some disappointment about where you end up going. For some reason, I'm inclined to think that you had a country retreat planned and you didn't get to go on it down the country or something like that, out to somewhere that was nice out in the open, and you didn't get to go, it didn't go according to plan, but now you've made further plans to do something else later in the summer months. And I really think collectively, once Jupiter moves into Pisces, that's going to be a great time for traveling for the collective. Okay, so let's enjoy that. It looks like we'll be able to get around a little bit easier from May through July. 8 of Wands. And then, you know, this is just talking about double checking any kind of plans. If you haven't taken that trip yet, it does look like that there could be a warning with the 8 of Wands in reverse, that just to make sure like car is working, you have your tax on your car and your insurance and your license and all of that. Okay, other than that, it kind of looks like you did make a sudden break away from like stress and being taken advantage of and feeling overburdened where you were, and you made a sudden breakaway and kind of freed yourself from it, because between this Page of Cups and 9 of Cups energy, that's very fulfilled and secure. Okay, so you're feeling a lot better by coming into May. You were like, oh, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more content where I am, where I'm situated. Some of you might have moved and you're like, oh, I'm just so much happier here now. I feel great. I feel comfortable here, comfortable in my skin, comfortable where I am, comfortable in what I'm doing. Let's clear up these energies of Queen of Swords, 6 of Wands, and the Fool card for Scorpio. Whether you're a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, Venus, welcome. The 3 of Wands. So yeah, some boundaries were put in place. It looked like turning your back on something, but really it was like you just had to do it. The Empress. Yeah, the Empress, because, you know, you wanted to feel much more like this, embodying like good energy, like embodying being valued by the person that you're around, embodying being valued in work or wherever you feel like this overburden. It might have been work, family, relationships, career, or something else, but an area of your life you just felt totally overburdened. Even spiritual destiny, like what is going on in the world kind of a thing. You might have just been getting down about things. The Empress is just here to say, like, whatever you decided, whatever boundary you decided to put in place, and the Empress is like a queen. Number three. 3 is the Empress, and 3 of Wands is numerically 3, of course, and then queens are also 3 represented on the third Sephira have the Tree of Life. So this is all connected to the number 3 numerically, and 3 is about expansion and growth and making something more of what you already have. And I do really see that coming your way, like more abundance coming in. Venus is going to be transiting. Okay, so Venus on April 9th, it's just moved into the sign of Gemini for Scorpio rising. That's into your 8th house. So that's going to be good in terms of if you were moving with somebody, that's going to be really good. If you were sharing, like it's shared resources, so things that you have two or more signatures on or something. Could be a lease, a bank document, a loan, something for sharing a car, if you share a car, whatever, if you have a joint bank account. So it's going to have some good things happening in that realm, okay, for Venus's transit through Gemini for Scorpio rising. That's nice. Other than that, it's like travel is still very much indicated here. And like I said, some of you are just disappointed that this trip didn't work out in the past, but as it turns out, something bigger and better is coming along for you. And maybe for some it was just a trip staying local or in the countryside. Now we're seeing like crossing water or going to another place, and somewhere very luxurious. The Empress energy is very luxurious, very decadent. Okay, so that's very nice. And what else can I say then? What else have we got going on? We do have like ending the month of May and going into June, feeling very, very very salubrious, very rich, very like wealthy, like, so if not even just monetarily, but I do feel like your finances are going to be very good moving into the end of the month, coming into June. You're going to have a much clearer picture of what you have, like in your, like what you have in the savings account or what you've acquired somehow, and like your personal finances, your income, but then also like other assets might be flowing in or other streams of income or something like that. And you're very proud of yourself, but also like, you know, you're not shocked. You're like, oh, well, I deserved this. It was obviously like I worked so hard, and this is now, I guess, look, your 7 of Pentacles, that when whatever you were feeling wasn't paying off end of April into May or in the past is now starting to really show itself by the end of May going into June. Maybe even June, like, you know, this could be a little bit later. This could be when everything else catches up and moves into Gemini. So let's have a think. Okay, so when Venus will move into Gemini, then let me just count this for Scorpio rising. Oh yeah, so when Venus will move into Gemini like it did just now on April 9th, that is going to be like bringing in blessings. And so maybe your partner gets a payout on a book they wrote, and now that is going to go into your joint savings account or something like that. Maybe you're married, whatever, maybe, but it could have come from a partner. And as Venus came through your house of partnerships in Taurus in the 7th house, Scorpio rising, marriages, business partnerships, and now it's into the 8th house. It could be for some a continuation of what happened in the 7th house in April, May, going into May, June, what's going to be happening in the 8th house, okay, where Venus is transiting. That's a little bit more complicated, but this is just basically saying that you're going to be feeling pretty abundant by far as what you have. Okay, I need to keep going now and just pull a couple more cards here to see what's going on in this row. The Empress is the 9 of Pentacles is known as the little Empress to some tarot readers. I've read that in a few places, and you know, it's just like, you know, you're living, you've received all the gifts and the abundance coming into you, and a pay rise or new home or something like that, and now you're like, now I'm enjoying it, now I'm like seeing job well done. But I feel like Scorpio's acting alone in a certain way at the end of this reading. So let's talk about what's coming up in the future for Scorpio. The 3 of Swords. And the 2 of Cups. I did say earlier that I thought this was about a relationship for some reason, and I just kind of intuitively felt that, like, and I guess I'm maybe right for some people. This acting out alone or doing this thing that you maybe need to consider the other person's feelings on, perhaps give it more consideration if we don't want to have an upset like the 3 of Swords. This is really going to feel like to the other person that you're betraying them, that you don't value what it is that they have to say or what their opinion is on the matter, especially if you're making a decision that might impact both of you, or, you know, they just felt like, oh, I wish you would have talked to me about this, I wish you would have opened up to me about this, you know, my opinion matters, because there has been some sort of an area of tension where it's like the more more you try and move to do one thing, you actually are just inviting like more stress coming your way following you. Like you're trying to be discreet and quietly do it, but you're just opening up like backlash for doing that, rather than there's a lack of transparency with the Seven of Swords, and as this Nine of Pentacles is almost like coaxing this person on, like, yeah, just do it. That's selfishness, okay? So, and sometimes there can be an element of that here. So it looks like there is a love situation or just a friendship situation. Two of Cups definitely is just, it's a beautiful soulmate bond, but we have soulmates with all, you know, friends or people we've kind of incarnated with before. So these people could show up in your life again, like a mother or a teacher, or I don't know, your local postman, or the lady you speak in the grocery shop to every day. But whatever it is, if you are in a way planning something or sneaking around, and you know you're inviting on a whole host of like drama basically, and somebody being upset, and you could upset someone or upset each other, and there could be tears, and you don't want that. Look, all these tears, all this not good stuff. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles, and then I have Mars and Scorpio here with the Five of Cups. This indicates to me a little bit like that you are holding back from disappointing somebody, holding back from disappointing a loved one. Some of you are holding on to some sort of a sense of loss and disappointment still. I'm not sure if that's meaning anything to you guys at the moment. It could be related, but that was what was coming up on the bottom of the deck. So let's see. Basically, we just want to maybe be a bit more mindful. We do have a Mercury retrograde starting May 24th, I believe, in the sign of Gemini. Again, that's in your house of shared resources. So especially if you share some resources like a plot of fruit, you plant fruit and veg together and you have an allotment together. If you're planning on like doing something sneaky and, I don't know, selling the tomatoes or something without consulting your person, maybe you should do that, okay? So there's like some element of like, just make sure you're consulting or being transparent and open with somebody so that you don't have all this stress or and where you have to act really suddenly, or where you just invite on like them shouting at you like, why did you do this? You get that? Okay, Scorpio, this was going to be your reading for May 2021 and beyond. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'm going to come back soon for you with a love reading, hopefully by the end of this week, if not next, or very early next week, for a love and relationship reading for the sign of Scorpio. Have a good day. Thank you.